And this is a Dutch case, which I brought for you today, of SEAT. A couple of years ago, SEAT approached us and they asked us for help in order to determine the ideal aftermarket pricing strategy to optimize profits. Aftermarket meaning you have a car, once in a while it needs maintenance and you have to bring it to either the official dealer or one of the SEAT competitors. So in the Netherlands, we have a Quick Fit, Profile, Euromaster. I think in Belgium, you also have the Q team, for example. And in order to answer this question, what we always do is we first start with analyzing value in the eyes of the customer. And we do this by using a framework which we call the value proposition as a bundle of benefits. Meaning that there are different types of benefits that you can think of, product, service, and brand. And those type of benefits, or the sum of all these benefits, represents or justifies a certain price in the eyes of the customer. So in this case, SEAT, these are examples of product benefits. For example, software updates. Are they performed or not? Do they offer you guarantee on work and parts? And what is the duration of that guarantee? Do they use original SEAT parts? Are mechanics trained and certified by SEAT? Is the workshop environmentally friendly? And a couple of others. Those are the most tangible elements that you can think of. Then we have the service layer around it. Single point of contact or not? What is the availability of the workshop? Do they give you additional advice about how to take care of your car? Those are all different examples of service benefits. And then we have the brand. Brand benefits can simply be the brand, who is the supplier, but it can also be the fact that a workshop is specialized in SEAT cars or not. And the sum of all these different types of benefits justifies a certain price. Now, if you want to dig deeper into the value perception of customers, what we usually do is we apply two different types of quantitative market research in order to quantify value in a fact-based way. And those are not the only methodologies out there, but those are two which we often use, which is a mixed-diff analysis and a conjoint analysis. Let me briefly explain them to you. So we started with an inventory of the bundle of benefits, and we got like 20-25 factors. And first we want to know, of those 20-25 factors, which are most important? What should we focus on? And here mixed-diff is a very powerful but pragmatic methodology that you can apply. Because what we do here is, it's a quantitative survey. We ask customers, respondents, the question: imagine you're looking for a provider for car maintenance. Of the following four elements that you can see here, which is most important and which is least important? And they have to make trade-offs. They have to tell you what they think is most important, which is least important. And they do this a couple of times, usually 8 to 10 or 12 times. And the subset of those four elements is always a random selection of the total list of 20-25 factors. So it's a pretty pragmatic way of doing research, but it's so powerful, because what it tells us is the following. It tells us something about the relative importance of all the different factors. And these are some insights from the SEAT case. And we learned, for example, that guarantee on work and parts was one of the most important elements. We also learned which factors are less important. For example, the fact that the workshop is environmentally friendly. And this gives us so much focus. It gives us focus to improve the value proposition. And it also tells us more about where to focus on in a marketing communication, for example. What you should put on your website or what you should mention in a chat with one of your customers. So now we know that guarantee is important. We want to know more about that. If guarantee is important, what should be the duration of guarantee? Is 12 months enough, or 24 months, 36 or 48 months? And in order to learn more about that, we apply conjoint analysis. Conjoint stands for considered jointly, and it's another quantitative way in order to make trade-offs. And here we actually show respondents value propositions, two different hypothetical value propositions that they could choose from. The one from SEAT versus a competitor in the Netherlands, the Quick Fit. And those are based on those 5 elements here on the left: brand, guarantee, roadside assistance, etc. Those come from MaxDiff because we know now what to focus on. And then we define underlying levels. So for example, guarantee on work and parts, as I just mentioned, 12 months, 24, 36, 48, etc. And people, again, make trade-offs, and we can identify patterns. We can learn that there's a group of customers who is very price sensitive. They always go for the cheapest option. Doesn't matter who the provider is, what the guarantee is, etc. Then we have very loyal customers of the official dealer. They always go for SEAT. Doesn't matter if they offer roadside assistance or not. And we can use and analyze these patterns in order to tell you something about willingness to pay and price elasticity. And in this case, we, for example, learned the following. We learned that for one of the most important decision-making criteria, which is guarantee on work and parts, that there's a significant willingness to pay. And we also learned something about the elasticity of this element. For example, that increasing the guarantee from 24 to 38 months represents an increase in value, but the step you're making is not that big. From 36 to 48, on the other hand, is way more value in the eyes of the customer. And then again, if you offer 48 months or a lifetime guarantee, that doesn't matter too much for customers. At the time we were doing this project, SEAT offered its customers 24 months guarantee, and you can already guess what we advised them to do. Due to the fact there is significant willingness to pay more for 48 months, we advised them to improve their value proposition and implement a 4-year guarantee. And this is what they did. And it was a huge success because it made the value proposition way more attractive, and it also enabled the company to increase prices. So this is the value part of this case, digging deeper into value perception and willingness to pay. But then we also have the pricing part, because in the conjoint example we just presented, you also saw that we display different prices, and by analyzing those trade-offs, we can learn something about price elasticity. And in this case, we, for example, learned that with regard to certain parts of the market, certain target groups, customers were relatively price insensitive, meaning that an increase of price from index 100 to 110, which means an increase of 10%, does not have a significant impact on volume or preference share or market share. And this was partly due to the fact that we increased the value that they offered, but it also was a very relevant insight in order to adjust prices, in this case increase prices, in order to reach your goal, which was optimizing profits. So combining those different insights, the value insights and the price insights, was very successful. And luckily I can tell you more about what it did for the company. It was a huge success. They were able to significantly boost profits. First of all, due to the fact that they were offering better value. Also due to the fact that they were able to increase prices significantly without any loss in volume, at least with regard to certain parts of the market. And not to forget, they had way more focus for marketing communication. So they were able to focus on the most important elements. And all these 3 ingredients combined together resulted in an increase of gross margin of almost 10%. So you can imagine that this was very, very successful for the company.